What's goody to any and everybody who may be listening? Okay, we are still on the subject of porn. Now, this was a big one. Okay, so it's a lot to sift through, and there are other people who are involved within this. So let's go ahead and finish talking about this porn. I'm also going to be talking about something else that's slightly unrelated to it, but it's not really unrelated to it because it's relating because it's the same person. It's a person involved that we're going to be talking about here. So let's talk about the porn. Now, I may have been addicted to porn in my teenage years when me and that clan, the Doja clan, were living in the trailer park. In a trailer park by the name of Green Spring Valley. So I gotta be honest. I'm honest. I'm completely honest and transparent in everything that I do. I have pretty much always been this way this whole lifetime. If I have lied, it's been a white lie. Okay? Now, this is something that these individuals in this clan could not stand. That I would always, if I saw something, I called it out. And Sharita in particular would get really mad and say, this ain't got nothing to do with such and such. Whoever I was calling out in that moment, she would always say, this ain't got nothing to do with that. Yeah. Okay. As well, you had these retarded ass motherfucking twins who would disagree with what I was saying, even though it was the truth, but they would contest with what I was saying, or as if it was not true. Child, they would all gang up on me. They would all just gang up on me because I was the motherfucking truth teller. The energy of the black sheep, the energy of the scapegoat. I was that one. Because of my divinity, might I add, that's how these demons and these individuals who worked within these demonic networks and these secret societies up under this demonic Bible treated me as a true divine being. Okay? Now, let's get back onto the porn because, like I said, I may have had a little addiction to porn when I was in my teens and, about 15, 16, 17, 18. I used to wait until the individuals in my house would go to sleep and I would be up at night on that computer, on the internet, watching porn pretty much all night. Okay? Now, let's talk about Ralph again because Ralph I don't know how he made himself almost the center, but it's like it was insidious. The energy of Ralph was very insidious, and I mean it's kind of expected to be so because just the look of Ralph, the energy that he contained. It had to have been him that I just sort of like he slipped up under the radar. But so I would always be careful to sort of like delete the cache and delete the internet files so that nobody could find or see that I had been watching porn. But I remember Ralph coming over one weekend. I gotta tell you how Sharita treated Ralph. Like, Sharita didn't like Ralph either. I gotta tell you. Because it was just something about the energy of Ralph that is not likable. He is very much so a dismissive and dismissible character just because of the way he hold his body, the way his mammy abused him, had him like that too. It was the way he held his body, the way he moved his body. It was the trauma that was inside of his body, the amount of the black orbs and the flubberous substance that his body contained. That's why people treated him like that. Okay, and had the nerve to think that he was a part of this brotherhood. He was in the brotherhood. Okay, but anyway, okay, this individual came over one weekend, and again, Sharita treated Ralph like shit, and I felt a little bad for Ralph the way that Sharita treated him, even though looking back, he deserved it. The way that Sharita used to look at him with that disgust, oh my god. But Ralph had came over one weekend and was up watching porn all night. Ain't nobody know he was on it. But the bitch didn't even have the decency to delete the internet files or delete the cache and things of this nature. So when it was the next day or within the next couple of days, Sharita had gotten up on the internet and was seeing all of the websites that Ralph had went to go and visit. All this gay porn and things of this nature. Okay? You know, guess who she came at with that bullshit about that? She came at me. Okay? However, luckily for Ralph, I didn't snitch on Ralph. Because you see, I wasn't like that. I did not snitch on Ralph, and in a way, I sort of protected Ralph. Okay, because I could have just told it, but I didn't. This was very important for me to mention. Okay, so that's number one. In the porn adventures, I used to be up late at night when everybody went to sleep watching porn. I did, but I made sure to delete the files and the cache. All right, but when Ralph came up over there one day, and looking back, this was purposely done because for Ralph to be so smart but unsmart, he knew what the fuck he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. Okay, this was purposely done. Anyway, and now it definitely don't matter. But so number two. Now let's talk about Darrell. Now we gotta talk about Cinderella. I called the bitch. I gotta tell you why I called this bitch Cinderella. I called the bitch Cinderella. Now this is my ex-brother because the bitch is cunty. The bitch is cunty, and the bitch know how to vogue and everything. Okay, very feminine. But at some point he sort of switched his style up. Now I went through the same sort of thing where I switched my style up from being femme to being ultra masculine, but eventually I pulled back into my core. This individual went from being cunty, stunty cunty. He was very stunty and cunty, and to being this ultra masculine individual, which to me he was posing and fronting. Absolutely. And every time, like, he would try to buck up in my face or get real crunk and start saying nigga this and nigga that, yada yada yada, like he was some thug. The bitch had moved away to New York and came back to Raleigh and just thought he was chewing it and eating it up and was not, because he was fake and fronting. Okay, so I gotta tell you about why I called the bitch out for being gay, because the bitch was gay, and the bitch ain't like nan girl. He had girls in the past, but them girls want nothing but beards. And thinking back at some of the shit he used to do, let's talk about the rappers that he used to like. Missy Elliott, Lil' Kim. Darrell had a friend named Creston, who used to come over to the house when we was living in Riverbrook, the neighborhood of Riverbrook in the city of Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, before I get ahead of myself, I ain't gonna say nothing about these individuals, Morris Williams and them yet, but this is just a note to speak about Morris Williams, Maria Williams, and the Williams clan. Okay, and they friends. But anyway, Darrell had a friend named Creston. Who named that boy Creston? I want to know. I want to see the mammy so I can ask her why she named that boy Creston. But so I was upstairs in the room. I forgot what I was doing, but he was down there listening to all the motherfucking female rappers. And why was he doing that? Because he was stunty, stunty motherfucking cunty. Okay. Oh my God. So fast forward a couple of years now. He done moved to New York. He done came back from New York. He done moved to Atlanta. He came back from Atlanta. He got both the New York and the Atlanta experiences. And now he just think he chewing it and eating it. He came back this ultra masculine motherfucker with a fake New York accent at that. And thought he was chewing it up. So he used to try to like buck up at me, like, you know, real aggressive, very aggressive, you know, aside from all the shit that he used to do in childhood with all the, you know, the brain squeeze and the projection and the gaslighting and all of that he used to do when we were smaller. When he came back, he would have the nerve to try to buck up at me and shit like that, like he was hard. And I used to look at him like, bitch, you are one of the girls. If you do not sit the fuck down, I'm going to tell your mammy, your unfit mammy at that you gay. Okay? And he used to try to say, oh, I don't give a fuck. You ain't gonna be home this over my head. Yada, yada, yada. Bitch, it was one morning. And it was the right morning. He chose the right morning to get up with that bullshit, talking that shit like he was the hardest nigga when wouldn't want nothing but a motherfucking low vibrational female in a male body. Okay? So he got to talking that shit, and I said, Darrell, listen, I'm gonna need you to back up. I'm gonna need you to calm down. I'm gonna need you to shut up before I tell your mammy you're gay. So I got louder with it. The more he said I don't give a fuck, the louder I got with it. Okay, so Sharita came out of the room because she was in the room laid up with a man, a stranger. A man who was, of course, a stranger around her children, because that's what she did, bring strangers around her children. And she was laid up in the bed with a man by the name of, what's that man's name? Damn, what's his name? Freeman. His last name was Freeman. Okay, I forgot the bitch's first name. Even though his last name was Freeman. Nasty individual, steeped in spiritual warfare. This individual. Damn, I wish I could remember his name. Okay, but it don't matter because spirit know. We know who I'm talking about. His last name was Freeman. Okay. But so like I said, the louder he got with the I don't give a fucks, the louder I got. Okay, and then Sharita came out of that room. Because, like I said, of course, she was laid up with a motherfucking man who was a stranger, which all these strangers she kept around her children. And she was like, what the fuck you say? She asked me what the fuck I said, because, of course, she heard what the fuck I said. And I said, your son ain't gay. He a motherfucker. That's what I said. Because she asked me that like I won't go repeat what the fuck I said. Okay, and I had reached a breaking point. That was my breaking point. Okay, so you know she came at me fiercely. She came at me fiercely because I said her son was motherfucking gay because he was. Okay, for some reason it was Sharita. She felt like somebody owed her grandchildren. First of all, you are not to be trusted around anybody's children. Bitch, you had me molested by Larry. You had me motherfucking molested by Mac, Prince Doja, Herbert. And it's two more. It's two more. Okay, but they're coming. Okay. You deserve grandchildren. You are not to be trusted around nobody's children, Sharita. But so she came at me for telling the motherfucking truth on her son. Okay. And guess what happened? Guess what happened, honey? She threw me out of her house for telling the truth. Okay. Now let me tell you what I had to do for that week that I was thrown out the house. I don't even know why I came back to the house. Okay. But eventually I came back to the house. But before I came back to the house, I had to go stay with some crummy, disgusting, nasty old man by the name of David, who is now deceased. And I would hope that he is not around me anywhere. One of these motherfucking spirits that's around me. Now, I do love my spirits, but you better have made sure you was on the right side. Or you better have made sure that you are appeasing me at this time. Because otherwise, I don't need you around me. Okay? Now, this was an individual by the name of David. He was old. He was nasty. He was disgusting. He was crummy. Okay? He was cheap. He had a little small dingling that I did not like doing anything with because the shit was small and disgusting. Okay? On top of that, he had the nerve to say, just to talk shit. He used to talk shit and say little smart off the wall shit. Okay? So I had to go over there and stay with this crummy ass old man who was sucking the motherfucking, not only the youth, but the life out of me. Now, mind you, I met this individual through Tracy. Now, I don't even know how to feel about Tracy. Right now, I'm not feeling Tracy. Now, Tracy is also deceased at this time. Now, I'm telling you, he don't need to be around me. Because if he need to be appeasing, he need to be appeasing me. You need to bring something. You better be bringing me something if you're around me, bitch. Okay, and the same goes for Karen, bitch. You better be bringing me something if you're around me. Because I don't want you around me. There ain't no reason for you to be around me. The bitch, the way you did me during life, bitch, fuck you. Okay? So, look, we got to go ahead and do our decrees and declarations around David, Tracy, and Karen. Okay? I decree and declare all three of the individuals that I just named, David, Tracy, and Karen, banished from my energy field forevermore, permanently, across all realms, timelines, and dimensions. Okay? I decree and declare any cords, if there are any cords linking me, any etheric cording, spider webs, orbs linking me to the three that I just mentioned, Tracy, David, Karen, are dissolved, dismantled, and destroyed. Okay? Now, I decree and declare that any of my light sparks, any of my soul fragments that got lost in the midst, that got caught up in the midst of me dealing with either three of them, all three of them, okay? David, Tracy, and Karen, freed, removed, released, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Because we're going to talk about Karen a little more, too. Because I'm getting a little more about Karen. We got to get into Karen a little more. Okay? Who was another one who was obsessed with that motherfucking reptile king, carrying that Bible around everywhere he went, looking stupid and a mess, picking up cigarette butts off the ground. But anyway, let's get back on Darrell, okay? Because we gotta talk about this porn. And before I forget, we gotta do poo poo too. Poo poo, because here's another one. Now I'm gonna do this one separate. I'm gonna do poo poo separate because that's a story in and of itself. But Darrell and porn. Okay. Now I knew this was gonna be a long one. And we already 20 minutes into it. Now, Darrell and this porn. Now he had moved to Atlanta. He went on down to Atlanta. But okay, before I get on, no, I'm just gonna say that for a separate video. Darrell had done moved on down to Atlanta. Now that should have been one of the signs to the mammy that he was gay, because ain't nothing but the girls down there. And I'm talking about the gay boys when I say the girls. And any man that's in Atlanta, any straight man, so-called straight man that's in Atlanta, bitch, boo. Okay? But he had moved down to the city of Atlanta or whatever. Of course he was down there being free, being gay, being who the fuck he is, truly at the core. Okay, now he done wound up being down there and recording a motherfucking porn video. Now this is before I ever recorded mine. He was first. He was before me when it came to recording a porn video. Okay? Now let me tell you how I discovered. You know, because he used to be with the girls in Raleigh. He used to sneakily be with all the girls in Raleigh. And when I say the girls, again, I'm talking about the gay boys. So he used to be around us all in Raleigh, me, Ralph. Again, Ralph was at the center of this. Like, he managed to fly below the radar because of just, it's the Ichabod in him that had him flying beneath the radar. That icky, just icky. Okay? And that's what the girls called him too, Ralph, Ichabod. So he used to be with all of us, the girls, even though I barely hung with the girls. I barely hung with them because I was always solo dolo. And I knew, I saw through it. But, how I found out that he had recorded this porn tape was that the girls was like, oh, you see your brother, Ruger? And by that time, he was going by the name of Ruger. He was going by the name of Ruger, thinking that he was the hardest motherfucker, bitch. What? Boo. Okay. So they was like, oh, we saw Ruger, and oh, we saw your brother, we saw Ruger, yada, yada, yada. So I don't know how Sharita found out, because again, at this time, I didn't tell on him. Somebody told Sharita. Somehow, some way, Sharita found out that he was in this tape. I got to now let's go ahead and connect these dots, because he had recorded the tape way before I ever said anything about him being gay. I hadn't called him out yet. Like the tape was a thing before he got called out. Okay, this was years later when he got called out. I told you that Sharita was a motherfucking pathological liar. I told you that Sharita believes her own motherfucking lies. That she was able to somehow convince herself that what she knew was a lie. That she was able to sort of blot it out of her mind. So that by the time I told her that the bitch was gay, it's like, no, we already seen the bitch in the porn tape. What more evidence do you need? Then the bitch still threw me out of her motherfucking house. Let's go ahead and do some decrees and declarations just surrounding the energy of that. I decree and declare that any of my light sparks, any of my soul fragments that got lost within the midst of the energy of that dumb bitch, already knowing that her son was gay because she had the evidence with that porn, and he was on the porn cover with nut all on his face, bitch. For when I came and told on her When I came and told on him about the fact that he was gay because he was all in my face bucking like he was hard. Okay. That my light sparks are freed and released and removed from the energy of that and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. I got you, bitch. Okay. Now where we going next? Because I think it's one more thing I gotta say. There is one more. Because I done said so much that bitch. Okay. I done forgot where I was going next with it. But we done said our decrees and declarations. We done got our shit back from David, Tracy, and Karen, and Darrell, Cinderella. Okay, and I'm not talking about the Princess Cinderella. Bitch. What else? What else? Because I think there was one more thing I had to say about this. Thank you. Bye-bye.